sir. You've never used them before. Rest, Neo. The answers are coming.
Hey guys, so recently one of my friends, Mellow Cat, reached out to me. She said, hey, I want to send you a pollen sample. Here's the date, timestamp, if you will. This is also from one of her Telegram channels called California Chemtrails.
Okay, so I've decided to scrape with a card. So, and I'll do this also on, oops, I'm trying to get
And this is the area of California she lives in. There we go. And this is her package. And here's her pollen sample. So I put this pollen sample, I'll just place it in a petri dish. And during my exam, it's going to be opened to my atmosphere, my environment, if you will. It's nothing about this is a so-called isolated, clean capture of filthy pollen, okay? And everything we're going to be seeing is from the 10x objective, not dark field. The only thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a green lens filter. I was messing around with different filters and lights, and I could see more of what I was trying to look for and find with the green lens. All right, so this is the first video that I filmed with the materials. Just so you know, I did place it in distilled water. I put a little bit of distilled water in there so I could get a better look at everything that was in there. Plus, it just works better wet anyway. So obviously, right off the bat, some will probably say that this is probably a broken insect leg. I'll disagree with that. So if there is real pollen, I would probably say that the real pollen particles would be the ones that look like this. These other components are something else. Just like right here, this fiber that runs across here. I recently did a video where I actually showed you a filament or a fiber or a structure that looked just like this that I found in a jar of peanut butter of all things. So this is an environmental pollutant, if you will, and it's ubiquitous in nature. Just like a lot of these biomimetics or these things that look like structures that we can find in nature but mimic. And look up biomimetics. There have been many agencies that have been working on biomimetics for a very long time, polymer-based technologies that can infiltrate our biology undetected and unnoticed. There were tons of fibrous tubules seen throughout this entire capture of pollen, if you will. These structures right here, they almost look like capsules, if you will. We're definitely dealing with the satanic technology. Everything that I've been finding for years now underneath the microscope has always been serpent-like, tentacle-like. And this is kind of why we have a lot of naysayers out there, because they just don't want to think that Satan has authority to poison us this way. Then I always often will refer them back to Job. The Father said, just don't kill him. Trying to focus in on this little area right here. There were many discs in here that both my sons looked at and said, Dad, that looks like a camera. Lots and lots of filaments of all different sizes, colors, translucent, cables, wires, filaments, whatever you want to call them. And this wasn't a lot of pollen she sent me. Not a lot at all. But look at this. This type of stuff is what makes people just bury their head in the sand and shut down, turn off. Fear. Fear is what turns people off, turns them away, shuts them down. And it's just easier to reject what you see. Look at these translucent tubules here. Tentacle-like. That's a better picture of those same little tentacles there. This isn't your granddaddy's pollen anymore. Look at all these wires. More tentacles. To dig right into you. Right into your lungs. And people want to think of all kinds of reasons why we have lung problems, why we can't breathe, why so many people are suffering from shortness of breath, coughing up blood. Just ignore what's in the sky and just assume we're just sick, weak people. Now, the weak people are the people who don't see this. That's the weak. That's the weak-minded. You know, people who just want to ball up and go bury themselves in their closet, right? And just ignore what's going on in our skies. And this is what it looked like when it was dry before I put distilled water in it. Yeah, if you go back and look on my channel, obviously, I've been showing you stuff like this for a while now. It's everywhere. Scar tissue. Blood. I think this is the one time I flipped over to the 4X objective. Flip back to the 10X. I know this looks similar, but there were lots of claw-like structures found everywhere. Well, I just figured I'd put a quick video together and show you that the war in the sky affects all of us in more ways than we'll understand. It affects our relationships because there are those who don't see and those who see. Go back into your memory vault as a little child and remember looking up to our Father's beautiful sky and remember seeing blue most of the days of your childhood. I'm almost 50 years old. I remember seeing blue a lot. And the funny thing is, I remember seeing blue all the way up until the time I put a cell phone in my hand. That's when I remember the blue going away. Why? Because I was only staring at black. I wasn't focusing on the sky. I was staring at this black mirror day in and day out and mesmerized by it, right? And forgot to look up to my Father and his beautiful handiwork that he hangs in the sky for us day in and day out. And now that I'm looking up and want to know what's going on in his sky, especially timekeeping, I've been focusing on timekeeping and know what the season, what time it is, what month it is, what day is it, right? That's what he hung that thing in the sky for us. Everything in the sky is for us to know how to calculate time. And you can't see it anymore. It's difficult. But I know that war that's going on in the sky is affecting us in our relationships, our friendships, because we get frustrated with each other because you don't see what I see or you don't see what she sees. And that's a part of the programming. That's a part of the propaganda. That, like my grandfather said when I was a little bit younger, right when the internet was just starting to come out, he said, don't worry about it. And he said, everybody will think the same eventually. He said, just like they did when they were building that tower. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Well, that's all I got. Just showing you the war. It's up to you to receive it. Most likely many will reject it. Nonetheless, it's still happening, regardless of your worldview or your understanding. Take care.